everyone, Renee here. This video is going to be all about well aging, or as I like to call it, being well preserved. I'm going to be 50 soon and I'm excited about it. Bring it! So to celebrate that, I'll be talking more about my well aging skin journey and some of my favorite tips. As for anything concerning the skin, our approach really should be a holistic one, but for this video, I really want to focus on the different topicals that I feel do a really good job. I rely very heavily on my topicals or whatever I use in my routines because I really don't do anything else. You know, I haven't had any work done, no injectables, no Botox or filler or anything like that, mainly because I'm just too lazy. I can't do anything that requires maintenance. If there's a one-shot treatment I could do and I'm good for 5 to 10 years, hopefully forever, then I would be open to it. But if it's something that requires maintenance every few months, I know it's just not going to happen. So I figure why bother starting, which is why I can't even do lash extensions, because I will be that person who has that one super long straggler that refuses to fall off. I guess I don't really mind seeing the changes that are happening. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, I don't need to stop the aging process. I just want to do it, as they say, gracefully. So a question I get asked a lot, particularly when I'm talking about formulas that are designed for age defense, is at what age should I start incorporating these formulas into my routine? I never quite know how to answer that question because our skin is so different, our skin ages differently, but also because I'm personally not into doing things to your skin before it actually needs it. I just feel like if you are doing a skincare routine that meets your skin's needs and you're simply caring for your skin the way it needs, then that is a well-aging practice. You cannot talk about well-aging treatments without mentioning antioxidants. I personally don't think our routines can have enough of them. So one of the major causes of our skin aging is the environment, other than obviously genetics and certain lifestyle choices like our diet. So antioxidants act as that protective, invisible shield for our skin. The most powerful one is ascorbic acid, which we also know as vitamin C. And thanks to Skinceuticals, it's the one with the most evidence behind it. Ascorbic acid will always have a place in my morning routine. Plus, together with sunscreen, it just makes a far more powerful protective barrier on the skin. Another well-aging benefit is that it promotes collagen synthesis, which is what we need to keep our skin nice and firm. And if we don't want our faces to be down here in a few years. Notice when I first started using ascorbic acid, and this is kind of what made it a game changer for me, is how much it brightened my skin as well. I have that vitamin C glow. Another one of the most important antioxidants is, of course, vitamin A, which are retinoids. There are retinoids, particularly the prescription strength ones, that have been proven to actually reverse the signs of aging. So retinoids in general, because there are some nuances between the different ones that you can use, but in general, they will tackle all the different signs of aging. They help with wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, in particular PIH, the brown spots, the sunspots, and age spots. It also helps with, visible pores and just making sure that they stay clear. As our skin matures, it also becomes thinner, which just makes wrinkling and dehydration and dryness more of an issue. But retinoids really help with thickening our skin as well. There's also just the regenerative aspect of it as well. So it really pretty much takes care of all things. If there's one thing that makes me wish I started with retinoids earlier, it's because it put a hard stop to my adult onset acne, which for me was relentless. They're pretty much concentrated all along my jawline, but they're the really super painful large ones that tend to keep on reappearing in the same spot over and over again. And what really sucks about adult acne is that we no longer have the collagen and skin elasticity that we did when we were teenagers. So even though my teenage acne, that happened all over my entire face, but I guess my collagen, the elasticity was good enough that it didn't really leave scarring. But my adult onset acne has left a whole bunch of little pinprick scars. So I keep thinking, if my original experience with Trent wasn't so awful and I was better educated about how to use it, then I could have avoided all of that. So I will be sharing in more depth with you my experience with prescription retinoids that I have been testing out lately. But if it's non-prescription, then I'm all about the retinaldehyde. But my favorite is still the Medicaid Crystal Retinol. It's a great formula. It's a stable formula. And during the time when I was using it, my skin looked so good. And of course, sunscreen. I mean, that at this point should be a default assumption. It's just so obvious. So if you have vitamin C and sunscreen during the day for protection and vitamin A at night, you're set. Everything else is supplementary and really just focused on your individual skin needs and concerns. So one of the first noticeable changes to my skin was the dullness. So lack of that sort of youthful, juicy, glowy luster. Essential for well aging is exfoliation. I will definitely do a deeper dive into this, but you really do have to choose the right method or the right treatment for you, whether it is a gentle AHA, a strong AHA, or a gentle physical exfoliant. I recently have been really loving the Dermaplaning tool. It's super satisfying and very, very gentle. It doesn't turn my skin red. There's no irritation whatsoever. Honestly, I didn't really even start regularly exfoliating until after my 30s because I didn't actually feel the need to, but also the options I had available in my 20s were not ideal. But yeah, it wasn't until I started feeling the rough patches on my skin accumulate and build, the flakiness and all of that, which I mistook as just being dry, sensitive. It was actually just a buildup of dead skin cells. That's when my skin was signaling that it just wasn't turning over the way it used to. So a girlfriend of mine recently said that as one ages, they are either going to be a sinker or a sagger. And what that means, as if it needs any explanation at all, is as you age, you either are someone who will lose volume in your skin or it will just drop. So I believe I identify more towards the latter, but for both, there are copper peptides. And of course, I'm talking about my favorite, NIOD, CAIS, and CAIL. The purpose of these peptides really is to maintain skin firmness and keep everything just lifted so we don't sag. I love Klairs Midnight Blue Drops. I think they're fabulous. And I think those are great to start even when you have more youthful skin already. Like you can start using that in your 20s. But when it comes to CAIS and CAIL, I feel like that's something that is more beneficial as you already start seeing signs of aging. I have tried other copper peptide formulas, but I feel like none quite match the performance of CAIS and CAIL. I mean, it is sort of a hard act to follow. So CAIS was my first, and the whole purpose of that is to maintain your skin collagen and just to keep everything nice, firm, and lifted. But it does so much more than that. Like it definitely does something with the skin texture. It just refines everything, makes everything look so much better. I almost feel like what it does is it takes your skin back to days long forgotten and when we just took everything for granted. So CAIL, on the other hand, to me, this is the Chubby Cheeks formula. It additionally helps maintain volume. So if you're someone who's a sinker, this is exactly what you need. Loss of volume isn't just about chubby cheeks, although once our cheeks start sinking in, that's when the nasal labial folds start appearing or the lines around our mouth. But in general, any lines we may have do appear deeper. That's when you get crepiness. So once you have vitamin C, vitamin A, the addition of a lot of hydration and good peptides can really make a difference. Hydration, probably the most important step of my skincare routine because my skin definitely started to get a lot more dehydrated. It really makes a difference in terms of filling out any kind of fine lines. Just any hydrating formula, it can either be an essence/toner or it can be in a serum form, but I feel like if you really want that very, very bouncy, juicy skin, then I always go towards the essences. I feel like that kind of takes it over the top, which I like. But if you're someone who just needs a little bit of hydration, you don't need that much, you just want enough to balance your skin out, then a serum is fantastic. As many of you have seen in my skincare routines, that I tend to sometimes layer multiple skins of the same hydrating essence or serum. So that's with serums, I go through them too quickly. Maybe that's another reason why I prefer the essences essences. Of course, there are just so many beautiful hydrating essences, toners, and serums out there that I love that focus on things beyond just hydration, but just as a baseline, almost perfect formula is the Hada Labo Gokujyun, regular or premium. Or just take a look at their whole line. I will link a video I did. I just review all their lotions, but it basically has one job and it does it perfectly. For sagging, you may also want to consider a microcurrent device because that stuff really works. It's like exercising the muscles in your face. So it works deeply underneath your skin to make sure that your muscles stay firm. You just have to be able to be consistent in order to maintain results, just like for exercising the rest of your body, or just like anything that you want good long-term results for. Hyperpigmentation, in particular PIH or brown spots, the excess melanin that develops and causes patchiness in your skin or spots on your skin. They're also known as sunspots. Now, this is of particular concern to me because it's the main way in which my skin has shown signs of aging. I'm so glad that the narrative around age defensive products are finally acknowledging hyperpigmentation and unevenness of skin tone, because it really has mainly been focused for a very long time on, wrinkle repair, wrinkle prevention, when there's so many of us where the main focus is actually about pigmentation. So my take on pigmentation, especially when you already have those brown patches formed on your skin, it's very much the same as my approach to deep wrinkles, which is there really is nothing available OTC or topically that can actually get rid of them. At best, we can improve the appearance of it. Of course, it depends on, how dark your pigmentation is. Or if we do end up going for a clinical treatment that can get rid of it significantly or make a more significant improvement, then topical treatments can really help with delaying the pigmentation from coming back. So if the goal is to even the skin tone or to soften that contrast of the pigmentation on your skin, then it actually takes a little bit of an army. It's not like this one treatment will do it all. So in the past, I did do a laser treatment to lighten the pigmentation here. I only did one session, but it did significantly lighten it and didn't get rid of it completely, but it comes back for sure. Now, what has really helped is a combination of vitamin C, tretinoin, as well as a few other targeted serums and treatments. A new favorite of mine that I'm finding to be very effective is this one from Saatchi Skin, the Triphala Pigmentation Corrector. So what I love is that it's a very well-rounded pigmentation treatment. The founder of this brand is Southeast Asian, so she kind of can understand the different layers and levels of hyperpigmentation that can occur in skin. This not only treats the PIE, in fact, this is the most effective at treating the PIE quickly, but it also targets the brown spots. But I also love that it targets that kind of the sallowness, the maybe yellowness or olive tones that are deeper than the rest of your skin tone as well. So overall patchiness of your skin that will develop, even around the mouth area, around the cheek area, most commonly, but it will just really work at evening out your skin, no matter how light or deep your skin tone is. But also, obviously, sunscreen. Sunscreen is probably the most important thing. So in particular, I've identified a few sunscreens that are great for hyperpigmentation. I will link my sunscreen video down below where I do mention certain sunscreens that specifically will also treat, not just protect, but also treat pigmentation. Wrinkles. Did you know that there are 15 different types of wrinkles that we can get on our skin? And they span everywhere from the temporary fine lines to more persistent to like the deeper folds. When it comes to, deeper wrinkles and the folds, these are very much resistant to topical treatments. So there's really so much you can do with topical treatments. But when it comes to fine lines, those are definitely more treatable and you can make a difference because these sit more on like the upper dermal level. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can, really have an effect on them by, with good exfoliation, but also by really plumping things out with good hydration and a good moisturizer. Moisturizer, as we mature, just becomes more and more important. You just want to have that top protective seal. That barrier is just, protected. It's not getting dry. It's not getting dehydrated. You just want to make sure that you have a good seal that just protects everything and keeps what needs to be kept in. But it gives me the skin finish I like as well, which is really kind of, dewy and healthy. So that's it, everyone. I definitely will be doing a bit more of a deep dive on some of these individual concerns, but otherwise, these are my fundamental basic necessities for well aging. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Bye.